Hi again, guys. So I have decided to alter your final assignment. I've mentioned this in our emails. As a result of all the changes to our course, I am uploading a new file that will have your assignment description. Um, and so as a result of that, I also am making this video that I'm going to use to go over instructions about what the assignment is and hopefully make it a little more clear. The instructions are a little longer than some of the others, but I actually want you guys to rest assured that this assignment is probably going to be actually a lot easier for you guys um, than my original final assignment, which I was going to be pretty hard on. But given the circumstances, I wanted to do something that and I say easier, but it's really just it more allows for some freedom for you guys to do something hopefully a bit more creative and fun and interesting. I guess, that depends a lot on your ideas of what's creative and fun and interesting. And if you like to have a lot of freedom in your assignments or have very clear, um, defined criteria of what you need to do. So I try to keep a bit of clarity and definition, but it does allow for a bit of freedom on your parts, which I guess, I remember being a student and it can lead to some uncertainty, but I do want to reassure you guys that I do not plan on creating this harshly. I just want to see you guys, take something that you're interested in and make it kind of fun or interesting. And the amount of effort you put in is it's going to be, I want you to include some things from the class, talk about things that maybe are relevant to you and relevant to the assignment, but I don't have like a right answer for this. So there's a good chance you're all going to do well if you just complete the assignment. And I know saying that might encourage you to be lazy or whatever. I don't really care that much. I know with everything going on, as I've mentioned before, you all have stuff that's a lot more important to do right now and to think about, and take care of yourselves above everything else. So I want this class not to be a huge stress. And so I came up with this new assignment that will hopefully be interesting to you. And if it's not, well, at least you'll probably be able to do it relatively quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the instructions I did write out for you, um, starting with right here. So it's the new consulting project 8, and it's called the gamification of work. And the previous one, if you remember, was on leadership. And if you're interested in the leadership topic, you can still use leadership to be included in this. But I just want you guys to think about something that you were interested in throughout this course or something that you remember strongly and maybe apply it to that topic. But basically, what I'm asking you to do in this assignment is to take an element of work and turn it into some sort of game. So this means, and I'll pull up some examples for you as well, but this means that, we have this thing going on in the modern era where everything is being made technological and everything's being made either for computers or smartphones or tablets, especially smartphones these days. And a lot of organizations are catching on to this idea that if we turn some aspect of work into a game, something like a phone app game or a video game, it can engage people a lot more, and there's some benefits to doing it, but you got to do it right, of course. So this includes video games, phone applications, and so on. And it also kind of includes social media. I've seen different like organizations create kind of like a social media sphere around their specific organization, which is pretty interesting too. And if you want to go that route, feel free. Just think of it as gamifying or turning it into something that's modern and technological and if people enjoy doing it. So I want you to choose a work system. It could be anything from leadership development, employee experience or employee engagement, motivation, even selection, teamwork things, like all kinds of options that people use, and turn it into some sort of game. And I don't mind if you guys also use something for the clients to do. So that's mentioned in these instructions as well. Just make sure that you include some kind of topic from uh, our lectures in it, but I'll get to that. So gamification is modeled after rewards-based systems. So usually there's some sort of reward system. Think of video games or smartphone games. Something happens in them that functions as a reward that otherwise we wouldn't continue to do it. You win prizes, you beat bosses, you get medals and trophies. badges, points, money, more monetary things that are for that game. So think of it that way, and how would you apply that to work? And of course, that goes right along with our motivation lecture. So that's an easy connection there. But you can apply it with, motivation in a broad sphere of work activities. So it doesn't just have to be motivating employees, period. It could be motivating employees for specific purposes, and you can choose what that is. And it also doesn't have to be motivation, but that rewards-based system is inherently a motivation type function. So create a gamified version of your workplace. So I'm asking you probably to use the organization that you've been using for all your assignments and some aspect of that workplace. The game you create must be something new. So if you use a company that already exists and does have something of their own in place already, please don't just write out what they already have. Come up with something of your own to add to it, or a new function or a new game. So answer the following questions. The questions are the what, how, who, and why of the game. So the what of the game, what is it, what's its style, be as detailed as you want. And this kind of builds also into the how of the game. How does it work? So what is it and how does it work? Who plays the game? It can be employees, it can be customers or clients, it can be leaders in the organization, it can be everyone in the organization. Just decide, and that'll be based largely on what it is. But some organizations have, for example, I mentioned in this instructions, like Chick-fil-A or Starbucks have their reward systems. You can do something like that for your organization, but definitely try to tie it to something that's relevant to the employees as well, even if it's the clients and customers that are using it. And you can also come up with an example. I talk about this here. So like I said, Starbucks and Chick-fil-A for that client customer reward system. You can use one of those as an example. Just don't do it exactly like that. Add something new to it and tie it to something from our lectures. You can even use a real video game that you like to play. You could use D&D. You can use any game you like as an example, and then think about how would you adapt that game to be something that you can use at work. And I've thought about this with a lot of games that I like to play. And it doesn't even have to be super realistic. It doesn't have to be something that you're like, oh, an organization would definitely use this. I don't care if it's just out there and fun and creative. Just use it to make it interesting and apply some theory of our workplaces to it. I say here, and I really believe that creativity happens when you apply something from one sphere of the world or one sphere of life for your interests and to a completely unrelated sphere, and you combine them. And suddenly you've come up with something new based on things that were previously known and old. So that's what I'm asking you to do here. Take what we know about the workplace from these lectures that we've had, from this textbook, from everything we've talked about, and take what you know from a game that's interesting or fun and put them together and see what you can come up with. So I think that's an easy approach to take if you have no idea what you want to come up with. Just pick something that interests you from class and pick something that you like to do as a game and put them together. And of course, it would be ideal if it's something you can do through technology, because I kind of wanted this to be something relevant to the current situation. You can have your workers do, for example, oh no, we're telecommuting now, we need to team build, but we can't do it together. So let's come up with a virtual game we can do to team build, something like that. So, I encourage you to think about some games you like or have liked throughout your life and something from the class you like and put them together. So there's no limit on page count. I don't care if it's short, I don't care if it's long. I just want you to address those above questions, and I want you to basically do 3 things, and this is where your grade comes from. Meet the criteria I listed, so answer one of the questions. Be creative and have fun with it. Don't copy an existing game exactly, but definitely use some existing games as examples. At least, you don't have to use existing games as an example, but I highly recommend it because it will make things more clear and easy to create for you and easy to grade for me. And 3, include content from class. I would say 2 to 3 concepts. Just they can all be from the same lecture. They can be different lectures. Like I mentioned, it's easy to apply motivation theory to other areas. So maybe try that, or apply leadership theory to something. Just think about it that way. And if you do those three things, you should have no problem getting an A. And down here, I listed some posts you can click on. This should be uploaded in the assignment tab, but I'll also put it on the front page just so you guys have easy access to it. So this will be your last assignment, and it will be due, I think, on the Wednesday of finals week, just because I think it's the last day of finals. So I wanted to give you as much time as possible, but also I think I need to have grades in by that Friday probably, so I will need to have them at least enough in advance to do that. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I hope that you guys actually, don't hate doing this project. Um, and I want to reassure you again, like, I'm not looking for anything super spectacular out of this world. You spent weeks on it. I just want you guys to be thinking about the concept and ways to make aspects of work accessible and fun and interesting and engaging for people, and also how the world is going increasingly virtual, especially in situations like this. All right, so with that said, that should be your assignment, and I hope you guys are able to take care of yourselves in this time. Um, and yeah, this is your last thing, so you're almost there. We're almost through this. All right, bye.